Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of December 2023. I hope you had a good and enjoyable holiday weekend and that your family is safe and healthy and you are safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health is being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare fields, who along with the first responders every day are trying to save lives. And those also who pick up garbage for us to keep our streets and sidewalks and places clean and disease free. Blessings also upon those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that I had tried to help rescue, deliver, and recover. To teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who are also the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators of these things, all those who profit from these things, and all the perverts that create the industry for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless even now in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a couple of basketball games over the weekend, and I want to also, first of all, thank everyone. And I got a lot of well wishes and get well soon wishes from you all. Yes, I was very sick. My running around caught up with me, especially starting last Friday, and I was knocked out for a couple of days. Could not do anything, but now I'm recovering. Not fully recovered yet, but totally recovered now. Got to take care of my wife who's caught what I got. But thank you all for your well wishes and get well soons and your thoughts and prayers. So there was two basketball games over the weekend, and I remember before I got sick, before I went into hiding mode here, I was telling y'all that this is similar to a playoff situation because they were playing the same team. That is, the Knicks were playing Milwaukee Bucks twice in 3 days. So they're playing the same team, similar to what you would get in the playoff situation. If you looked at, and I looked at the 4 games that the Knicks and the Bucks played this year, very easy to see a common theme once you look at the games. In all of the games, the Knicks pretty much shot the same three-point percentage. Sometimes it was low as like 25% and high as like 31%. Pretty much the same. But the Bucks shot 50% or more in all their wins. This game yesterday where the Knicks won, the Bucks shot 31%. And this is very clear. This is very clear in the sense that to beat the Bucks in a 7-game series, the Knicks must keep their three-point assault to a minimum. So they have to concentrate on defending the three-point line against the Bucks. Now, the problem with that, of course, is you cannot defend Giannis with one guy. I mean, he will go at you. And the problem is not that he's going to score 30 or 40, because he's going to do that. The problem is, let's say it was Julius that was guarding him, right? The problem is you don't want Julius to get in foul trouble trying to guard Giannis. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. So yesterday, the Bucks lost the game, and I wasn't completely surprised because they had just shot 50% from the three-point line on Saturday. So then yesterday, I expected and saw that Thibodeau made some corrections and some defensive adjustments to limit their three-point shooting ability. And, you know, of course, there's certain players like Damian Lillard, they're going to get their three-point shot because Dame Dollar can shoot it as soon as he steps over the half-court line. But he was 4 of 13 yesterday. Middleton was 4 of 9. Lopez was 2 of 6. And that's basically your story. The Knicks shot like what they would normally shoot against the Bucks, because the Bucks, with Beasley now playing good perimeter defense, you know, and then of course with the 3 bigs they got underneath with Lopez, Giannis, of course, and then Middleton, they're playing tremendous defense, and especially on the perimeter. So you would expect the Knicks to be held to 30%, which is what they've been doing the whole time against the Bucks. But yesterday, the Knicks held the Bucks to 30-something% shooting. And so that brings the Bucks into the Knicks realm. You see, when you are allowing a team like the Bucks to shoot 40, 50%, see, Bucks shoot 38% as a team from 3. That's what they do, which is, you know, high. That's the league average is around 36, so they're above average, which you would expect. But when you allow a team like them to shoot over 50% from 3, you have almost no shot of winning, which is why the Knicks were getting beaten pretty handily in most of the games they played the Bucks. So now the formula would be you must guard the 3-point line, but the caveat, what you're giving up, what you have to sacrifice, because there's always a sacrifice. With every defensive effort, something's going to be left open. This is the league, and everybody's going to exploit everything that's available. So you're going to have to guard Giannis with one guy. And yesterday, what happened, you had Giannis being guarded by Hartenstein. And Hartenstein got in early foul trouble. See? 4 fouls. And then you had him and Ju going back and forth guarding him. And then you had Taj, which is the perfect person to come in if you don't have Jericho, because Taj is a defensive player, a tough defensive player, an older guy, played 15 minutes, +4, and was able to guard Giannis when he needed to. That's the difference in this ballgame. So you want to bring the Bucks down into your style of game, and by limiting the percentage of threes they hit, that's what you do. You bring them down, and now they got to play your style. And you playing the Knicks grinded out style, and the Knicks have a chance to win. So yesterday, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. Brunson had 30. Brunson's been going off against the Bucks all year. Okay, he's been 40, 45 against the Bucks. So that's not a surprise. It's on the defensive end that you have the surprise. And then, of course, you had yesterday 32 points from the bench between Quickly, Hart, most of them, and then Grimes. You had 32 points. Most of that was Quickly, but still, you had 32 points off the bench. You still gets out rebounded, which you expect without a Mitchell Robinson and without Jericho Sims. You get out rebounded 44-41. You get out rebounded on the offensive glass 17-7. And just to go show you, normally that would be enough to win a game for a team, out rebounding their opponent by 10 offensive boards. But it's the limitations on the 3-point shot that won the game for the Knicks. And so this is not the same for every team, but against Milwaukee, this is what they need to do. And I mentioned in Milwaukee because right now the Knicks are, let's see, when you look at the standings right now, the Knicks, I think, are tied. They're close. Them and Miami are battling for that 5th and 6th seed right now. And so you got, let me take a look at this thing here. So you got Knicks in the 6th seed, a half game behind Miami. Knicks are 17-12. Miami's 18-12. The Knicks are a half game behind them. Miami and Orlando are tied in terms of, Orlando's a 7 thousandths of percentage point ahead of Miami, but they're pretty much tied. And Knicks are a half game behind both of those teams. So it's very tight. As we've been talking about all year, it's tight in the East. And it's going to be tight in the East. All year long, it's going to be a dogfight. And the fact that the Knicks are still in this is a tribute not only to the Knicks as a team in terms of fortitude and resilience, but to Tom Thibodeau and having them prepared when somebody goes down to have that next man up mentality, which they have. And as we were discussing several weeks ago when Mitch Rob went down, Taj Gibson was the ideal person to step in because even at 38, he could give you a tough, strong 15 minutes a game. By the way, when I was at the Brooklyn game, I was close enough so that I said, yo, Taj, stay loose, man. We're going to need you. And he turned around and smiled at me. I felt pretty good because I was trying to tell him, we're going to need you. And we do. We do need him. 15 minutes a game at least. You might have to play more sometimes. Jericho should be back in about a week. At the most, I expect him to be back in a week, but we got a tough 3-game road trip coming up with a tough game against a very hot Oklahoma City team coming up right here. So Oklahoma City has been balling, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But right now, they are solidly third in the West. Okay, that's why all y'all kept whining about, let's go get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as if you can pull a loaf of bread off the shelf and say, yeah, let's just go get him. And I told y'all, no, because Oklahoma City is building around him. That's why you can't get him. And this is why. Because this is where it was going to end up. When they traded Paul George and they picked up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Clippers were going all in for the chip. They didn't get it. And Oklahoma was building for the future around SGA. And they got it. So here, they're 18-9, third in the West. These guys are 7-3 in their last 10. They're balling. Okay. Now, Chet Holmgren is the key here. And again, his health like Mitchell Robinson's health is going to be the key here. So we're going to see, but apparently at this time, they're managing his minutes nice, because let me just look and see how many minutes is this young boy playing, because he's not being. I mean, I'm looking. They don't got the. I'm looking for the individual thing, but they don't have that. But I'm trying to say they're managing his minutes well, because if you had him playing 30, 35 minutes a night, he'd be sitting on the side with Mitch Rob. But the fact is, they're not doing that. So he's able to stay on the floor, and they're able to use him. Let me see here. I'm looking at the, just get old Chet, Stream Bean Chet up in this piece and see what we got here. There he is, Chet Holmgren. Okay. Chet is a game changer when he's able to play. The problem is last year, like I said, he wasn't able to play because he broke it. So let's see, last 5 games, 34 minutes, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 32 minutes, 30 minutes. That's what he's doing so far, last 5 games. And he has produced 19, 23, 17, 17, 14. Now, I think they're still playing him a little bit too much. And being that he didn't play last year, he's going to hit this rookie wall in about a month. We'll see what happens then. But for right now, they balling. They balling. Right now, they balling. And so if they get another piece, see, Oklahoma City will be looking for a Mikal Bridges. They'll be looking for also an OG Anunoby or a Pascal Siakam. They're that piece away from being really dangerous. Okay? And so we're going to be playing them Wednesday night. That ain't no joke. Okay? So that's for tomorrow. But for yesterday, the Knicks delivered a Knicks-style victory. Like I said, keeping Milwaukee low on the three-point line, which is what they did. And now, that's the formula. So if we were to play Milwaukee in the 7-game series, that's the formula. You have to have perimeter defense. Therefore, you're going to have to be dealing with Giannis in the paint. Okay? You got to be dealing with him in the paint. Giannis is impossible to guard in the paint. Period. End of story. So you'd be hoping he'd be missing his foul shots. Okay? You'd be hoping that the refs will let him play aggressive so that Juju and Hartenstein and Taj will be able to stay on the floor against him. And you'll be putting your chips in the basket of, I'm going to stop the perimeter. I'm going to stop the onslaught from the perimeter. That's what you got to do there. And the Milwaukee Bucks built this thing properly. And they rebuilt it on the fly properly. What do I mean? Well, you want shooters around Giannis. So they had shooters. They had a whole bunch of shooters around him. And they had, including Jrue Holiday. We know they had Jrue Holiday around him. But now, they had a couple other guys. They actually had DiVincenzo. But now, they moved and they replaced those guys. You still got Middleton, but you got Brook Lopez. Now you got Dame Dollar and Beasley. Like I said, Beasley has been balling this year, especially on the defensive end. But when he starts shooting, they're almost impossible to beat. So you must have perimeter defense against them. And the Knicks did. And that's why they won the game yesterday. So I give them a chance against Milwaukee as this season progresses. Again, the Knicks are playing a hellified schedule right now. They got 3 games coming up on the road, including a back-to-back at the end of the week to finish December. And they've come through December very well. I have to give it to them. We were trying to tread water in December, and I think the Knicks have done a little bit better than that. They actually, I think they got a winning record for December. Let me just double check this to make sure I'm not telling y'all no lies. But it looks to me, as I'm looking at this thing here, if this ESPN don't mess me up. Let me see. December. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They won 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 6-5 in December. Considering they had a 3-game road trip and a 5-game road trip, they're 6-5 in December. Okay, 3 more games on the road, and I give them a good shot against Oklahoma City. Like I said, Oklahoma City is balling. It's not going to be no given, and they're going to be traveling all the way out there, so it's not going to be a given. Excuse me, I still got the remnants of this cold, but I give us a shot against Oklahoma City. Then we got a big game this Friday against Orlando. But let's deal with that when we get there. For now, the Knicks are 6-5 in December, having come through this hellified schedule with no Mitch Rob. They doing real good. So let's see if we can get this win tomorrow against OKC, and then we look at it from there. Now, thing is, also Orlando got a back-to-back tonight and tomorrow. They play a back-to-back. It's not a crazy back-to-back, but all back-to-backs are tough in the NBA. But they play in Washington tonight, and they playing Washington tonight. And who they got tomorrow? They playing Washington tonight. And on Wednesday, who they got? They play Philly on Wednesday. Yeah. So they play Washington tonight, and they play Philly in Orlando on Wednesday. Now, the thing about that Philly game, which I was completely disappointed. How you going to have a Christmas game, right? I mean, that's the hype, right? Christmas, right? So that's the big hype. Christmas Day game. And no Joel Embiid? What kind of, they played yesterday and they had no Joel Embiid. Like, I was totally disappointed. I wanted to see the game because I was hoping they would beat Miami. Then I seen no Joel Embiid. Anyway, I'm hoping Joel Embiid plays against against Orlando on Wednesday because we need them to beat Orlando. Okay, so anyway, they got a back-to-back. Then we go down there to play them, and that's the first game of our back-to-back because we play Orlando on Friday night, and then Saturday they got somebody else. Who did the Knicks play? They got a back-to-back. That's how they ended up. They playing Friday night, and then they go to Indiana and play Obi and them. And this is a lot of traveling. So you're going to Oklahoma City, middle of nowhere. Then from there, you're going down to Orlando, which is a good flight from Oklahoma City. Then you're flying across the country to be out in the field house out there in Indiana. It's going to be tough. But like I said, let's take one game at a time. Knicks get a win. They're now 17-12. They're going down to Oklahoma City tomorrow night. We'll talk about that. But let's keep going. Y'all enjoy your holiday. Shalom.